Welcome back, YouTube. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, so bro, we got a video for y'all on Crib. So we got the little bitty the boy trying to tell us what BDs and GDs like, trying to give us the little nigga info about the GDs and BDs in Chicago. And if you do a reaction to it, I'm a little bit zooted, a little bit high. I'm Crip, I'm from 23rd Wood Street, you know what I'm saying? But if we do a reaction to some BDs and some GDs, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We fuck with the BDs. We fuck with them. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this video. Hold on. I'm feel that go ahead, so we don't have no pauses, none of that infotations.
Nigga play around, all this funeral, I wish you would come. I'ma up this bitch, is why he died, I bet you would run. Any nigga playing that's on the game, bring back the wood, huh? Nigga playing around, I got they niggas in my pump, yeah. I been around, and yeah, he homie got me slumped, yeah. That nigga be gas, yeah, and he be zotted, yeah. Filled him up with 223s all up in his body, yeah.
Let's get it.
Before we get into this video, gang, I have just started my own label, and it's about to be the new Death Row. So make sure you hit that link in description.
You don't got no Death Row, stop playing.
Trap Lord Records with notifications on.
I'm Tupac in this bitch. I'm Tupac, stop playing with me.
Most of the shootings happen here in O Block.
O Block, stop playing.
Once low-income family apartment housing and the one-time home to a tiny tot called Michelle Obama, it is now ground zero in Chicago's
Michelle Obama used to be
wars.
with that on hood. Stop playing. On hood. I know she got some.
In the
Like
50s and 60s, Chicago's industries were booming, with it being a major manufacturing and processing hub for things like meatpacking, steel production, and glass making. All of these industries provided great employment opportunities, and in the 50s and 60s, there was a huge number of African-American families moving to Chicago as part of the Great Migration out of the South, with many moving into the Hyde Park and Kenwood areas of Englewood in Chicago's South Side, close to where the steel and meatpacking industries were providing the most opportunities. But unfortunately, over the decades that followed, industries begun to decline in Chicago.
How does man know all this? He the feds. He look like the feds. He look like the motherfuckers be working behind the desk.
Many of the industries that had anchored the neighborhood were in a fight of their lives. Manufacturing moved overseas. Environmental regulations grew. Markets shrank. Businesses disappeared, so did jobs. Without work, many people were forced to leave. Neighborhoods that had been stable for generations began to see rental properties, absentee landlords, and abandoned homes.
Meanwhile, this being the 60s, you might be able to imagine how local
Dude, look
attitudes
gay.
towards the newly settled African-American families at the time may have been. Not so good. And it was during these decades that the African-American community in Chicago began to be subjected to numerous efforts by the state to make it harder for them to settle in the area. This included restricted covenants, blocking the sale or renting of property to black tenants, and redlining whereby banks would refuse to lend on properties in areas where black families were located. With local tensions apparently boiling over when the city announced plans to expand social housing into the suburbs, adding smaller, low-rise complexes alongside existing high-rise tenements such as the notorious Cabrini Green housing project. So with all of this going on at the time, it's safe to say that no one was really looking out for the best interests of the black community in Chicago. And so as young black men in the area began to be bullied, eventually getting tired of the abuse, they would band together and form a club to fight back against those who had been bullying them. Over time, these street gangs evolved to be more organized, with one borrowing from religious mythology and naming themselves the Disciples. But soon after deciding that they wanted something a little bit more menacing, thus upgrading themselves to the Devil's Disciples, not to be confused with the biker gang of the same name. So in the years that followed, the Devil's Disciples fought with other gangs in the Englewood area, such as the racist white gang known as the Uptown Rebels. There was the Blackstone Rangers, another set known as the Egyptian Cobras, or later the Mickey Cobras, Cobras. Once again, not to be confused with the Egyptian Cobras motorcycle gang, but one of the founding members of the Disciples crew was a man named David Barksdale, a teenage tough guy who apparently only aged 14 commanded leadership of this crew. David Barksdale was famously referred to as King David, who some keen-eyed virologist might remember that this is actually where current pop-in O-Block rapper King Von supposedly gets his name, as it seems for the past few years he's been spreading the rumor that he was the grandson of Disciples founder David Barksdale, or King David. Anywho, if that's true, which it probably isn't, King Von's grandpappy set out to expand his Disciples, planning to do this by bringing together other smaller neighborhood gangs to bang together under the Disciples banner. And so in the 60s, Barksdale established a base at 63rd and Normal. Yes, King Von, 63rd. And from blocks that would later go on to be legendary Chicago drill music.
King Von put 63rd on the map. He put the, yeah.
But it wouldn't take him long to find some ops in the form of the Supreme Gangsters, and saving his life. And in addition to this failed attempt, the Peace Stones would have another damning setback in 1972 when their leader, where in jail, he would actually convert to Islam and drastically change the direction of that order.
Alright, we're going to end this shit. I thought it was something totally different. I thought it was going to be some good shit, and it wasn't no good shit. So we figure go ahead and try to find y'all some good reactions out here. I'm sorry I wasted y'all time. Go get a Snicker bar and go have a good day. See safe, full pack on game.
Nigga play around, all this funeral, I wish you would come. I'ma up this bitch, is why he died, I bet you would run. Any nigga playing that's on the game, bring back the wood, huh? Nigga playing around, I got they niggas in my pump, yeah. I been around, and yeah, he homie got me slumped, yeah. That nigga be gas, yeah, you know it, he be zotted, yeah. Filled him up with 223s all up in his body, yeah. I call my nigga Peso, yeah, that chopper get exotic, yeah. Call that nigga sniping, he gon' get about his body, yeah. Any nigga playing, yeah, you know we on this hand, yeah.